mean, look at that, they've taken through that wall, and that... Greetings and welcome to episode 147 of my Empire Total War Darth Mod USA campaign. And this, my friends, is how we left it last time, where we are at last beginning to bring pressure to bear upon the Ottoman remnants of these armies that have been harassing us in Ankara for many, many years. We simply have not had the resources or the time to be able to really take them to task. But now we are at a sort of a point now where we can take the fight to the Ottomans, and we're going to clear Ankara in its entirety. But we have a plethora of things to take care of here. We've got the war with Russia. We've got the potential war with Germany, but that is in the balance at the moment. We've got the Spanish front to take care of. We have the Middle East to deal with, especially with Persia, which we have taken Baghdad. Our first defeat, our first setback in many a year. So dare I say, many a decade. We have been such a staunch military presence in all sort of theatres, but at the moment we have taken a bit of a beating there. It has been our pride a little bit, but however, we do have plans for the Middle East. And indeed, the Council has once again come up with some wonderful ideas. It really has. Now, I know that many of you probably will be well aware is going to be our promotion. Now, I know I've set a number of promotions in sort of action, and they are going to be put into motion. They really, really are, my friends. But as always, once we have a starting episode with a battle, I won't do the promotions. I'll do the promotions. I'll explain in more detail where the promotions will be in this episode, but also I won't put them into place until we have an episode where there is no battle at the start of the next episode, as it were. That way, then we have a clear start, and we know, and I can explain everything in greater depth. At the moment, we can take the fight here to the Ottomans. Now, the Council has called on us to take the Ottomans and remove the Ottomans in force, particularly Istanbul. It's been a huge call from many of the council members that we take Istanbul, rid ourselves of the Ottoman menace once and for all. Now, that's going to require a significant reinforcement in this area. Or we could remove, as the council have said, we could remove and deal with these forces in Ankara, and then we could use the forces we have here that are currently defending and garrisoned outside of Ankara, and send them via. We've got plenty of ships in the area. We could then send them into here, and this forces here could attack Istanbul. Now that's going to be a brute. It's going to be an absolute brute of a fight. Be under no illusion, my friends. This force here will not come out the same, because the Ottomans here are well dug in. They have excellent forces here. The sheer numbers involved on the Ottoman side is massive. Now we've got Greece further down the Mediterranean. Was many council members also calling for us to actually give Greece Moria. Now we are not using Moria. Moria was sort of almost was a placeholder whilst we dealt with other, and used Moria as a sort of a stopgap between moving into when we were fighting in the Don, but we had to pull out the Don, of course. And I think we will give Greece Moria. It is, although it does have a naval hospital there in situ, but we do have the Balkans and some of the Balkans, the coastline of the Balkans there under our control, which we can bring in religious reinforcements. So we might free up Moria, give that to the Greeks who are fighting the Ottomans. So our enemy is sort of commonplace, as it were. So we'll have to see what happens here. But let's take this fight. As you can see here, they don't really have a full complement. This force has been absolutely battered. It really, really has. You've got the Sedit rifles here. The Nizam, we've got the Sepias here, which are they're brutes. They really are a formidable foe. But look at that, down to 2 here for the armoured cavalry. They're powerful. Circassian armoured cavalry. They do have the Janissaries here, the Grenadiers, but again, nothing else at full strength. We will take this fight. We're going to clear this. We're going to clear this port. This port has been under siege for so many years. We haven't had access to this port, and if we have access to this naval hospital here, we won't need Moria. This is what the council has been pushing towards, thinking, Malik, get on with it. Clear the Ottomans out of the way. We can then also cast our gaze onto the Persians, who do have to be dealt with, and dealt with quite harshly, dare I say. They have fought bravely, though, the Persians. I must confess, they have really put a real heck of a fight on us. They really did. That's the first defeat we've suffered in many, many a year. Now, the topography of the terrain here is really everywhere. Look at it. I mean, they've got this undulation here, this hill here, there's sort of steps here moving down into the sort of just as we just sort of break small into this sort of hamlet here, this small village here, this sort of etches into the battlefield. And then, of course, then we come into this more flat and then undulating ground again here. But look at the size of my goodness me, look at the size of the deployment zone. It is huge. I mean, that is vast. So we're going to use that to our advantage. We're actually going to put our cavalry on the flanks here and just absolutely go all in on these Ottoman forces. We're not going to give them a moment's respite. So let's get ourselves prepared here. We're going to attack from two angles or 2 fronts as well. Now you can see we've only got regiment of horse. Now we really do need to bring in retrofit some of these armies because they really are lacking that oomph we need. So I think what we might do is actually bring. Look at that, I've got 111 men in there. So we're going to have to use both of these because the Sepias will absolutely tear these to pieces. I kid you not, my friends, they are an absolute brute in the charge. But we do have plenty of line infantry here, which we are going to use to our advantage. The guns here are going to be absolutely up front and centre. 216 men here. That's almost a full regiment on the guns here, so that's quite extraordinary. We'll have some regiments guarding the guns, but the guns are going to be up front and centre here. We're going to take the fight to them. We are not going to hold back here. We're going to be on the Ottomans, all guns blazing. Look at that. Quick line. Now let's put some. We'll have the more experienced regiments taking the fight to the Ottomans. So we'll have gentlemen up here just for the moment. Just put a placeholder on these at the moment, and also the 126th. Just put them by here for the second here. 109th. As you can see how old this army is. It still has numbers. So that's how old this army is. It's been probably one of the first armies, as it were, that really saw action in the Middle East, as it were. Now we've got General Blue Blocks here, one of our old council members, very, very old council member indeed. And we do have any other regiments here that got, they're just the 145th. We're going to take the 145th, put them on this flank here on the right. Again, we're going to take the fight to the Ottomans. They shall have seen no reprieve at all. And remember the council have been calling for a number of compositions to be placed into their armies. That will also be done. So those council members who have been promoted will see those compositions they requested. A lot of council members have requested certain compositions for their armies and for their army groups. They will be done as you wish, my friends. Of that I can assure you. Let's put the 133rd here as the vanguard of the defence here. We've got a wide open battlefield to actually move into here, which is good for us. We've got this village here which sort of breaks into the battlefield, but still. 141st will join them on the left. And we'll also have the 108th on the right. Now there's a good chance they'll come for us here pretty hard, but that's absolutely fine. Again, we will take 3 regiments. 132nd. This regiment is not numbered at all. We don't want to be sloppy here at all. We've got to still maintain our discipline. Maintain our proper deployment here. We mustn't just become complacent here. That will spell our doom. We've got 3 additional regiments here. We need to take the fight hard to them here. 129th will join them on this flank here. So let's put them on the hill here. 131st. 132nd. Look at that. See, these steps here cause havoc with deployment. They really do. So we'll have to have them staggered here. And then we've got these 2 other regiments here, which I think we'll also put. We'll spread them evenly here. So we have another regiment on this flank here, and the regiment here on the left. Let's really go all in here. We've got the troops. We outnumber them, outgun them by a considerable amount. But I really want to take the fight to the Ottomans and just put down this marker and tell them, if you move against the United States, this is what you suffer. You will suffer the consequences. It's as simple as that, sir. No if, buts or maybes. Now let's do this, my friends. We can now begin the battles. Remove these gentlemen from the ports, because this port is vital here. We get this naval hospital open. Those pious. Now let's move hard. Now obviously they're going to try and flank us on this here. Let's try and take the hill here at least. Oh, that's a beautiful shot, sir. Look at that. They've been absolutely eviscerated there. Let's take the hill. Double time, gentlemen, up on that hill. Let's get the upper hand here immediately. We're also going to move around very quickly here. March into them here. Going to get right onto the flank of them here. Circassian armed cavalry here. Oh, look at that! They've been absolutely blitzed here. Now that was a joy to see. If they wish to have a fight, then we'll oblige. Let's draw them in, strike them on the flank. Provide covering fire, as you can see, moving in the distance areas on the flanks here. We'll take that off there. We'll actually have them. Thank you, gentlemen. We're not going to have any friendly fire on this either. They're moving into the town here, so they've actually trapped themselves here, which is good. Come on, gentlemen, get in there. sir. Look at that. Absolutely eliminated there. What a wonderful shot, sir. Here they come. Oh, look at that. They've run. That is unbelievable. Well, look at that. If you look at that, they've been absolutely obliterated there. What the blazes is going on there? Oh, look at the fire support here. It's exceptional, sir. Oh, there it is. That's why. These guns here, these howitzers, have given us absolute hell here, sir. That's how we've lost them there on that flank. They've really given us a real torrid time there. Now we've got a grip. Now we've got a grip here. To the rifles, lads. Oh, that's a joy to see. This is an absolute massacre, sir. This is exactly to show the Ottomans what they're up against here. Ceasefire. Oh, that's a joy to see. Look at that. What blazes was that? Of course, they must have had traps there. Oh, we've been crushed upon this here. That's what's done this. That's okay. That's all right. I'm not sure what they did there, but that building has just collapsed. Not this time, sir. Not this time. We lost one regiment here, of course. This has been an absolute massacre. Look at that. We've obliterated them here. Cut them down, lads. Cut them down. Yes. That's how you teach the Ottomans what for, sir. Lost 593, not too bad, they've lost everything. Look at that, line infantry did a wonderful job here. The regiment of horse held well as well. Howitzers do well.
Make ready.
Yes.
March.
And now we're going to replenish and repair that. Thank you very much. Bring this back in. Now we've got this in the Mediterranean now, this naval hospital. And also bring this army up to full strength as well, sir. Let's get that replenished and repaired. That's more like it. And we've also got this army here, which is also doing the same thing. This is going to be repaired here as well. We are actually tracking them back here, but we have taken Armenia. But look what's on the board here with the gangsters. If we don't get peace with the Persians, we're going to have to pull out of here. We simply couldn't. I did not realise this was here, but they're obviously going to be backing up the Ottomans here. Got to deal with these Ottoman forces here. They're sort of grouping around Sinop. That's a powerful force there, my goodness me, and here as well. Lots of archers though. But if they want to fight, then we'll oblige. We lost Baghdad. That's a real blow that was. Now the council has recommended we actually pull these forces from Syria and also from Jerusalem, the armies we've got here, and move them in and take the fight to the Ottoman or to the Persia. Let's see if we can get peace with Persia. Yeah, let's just see if we can get peace with Persia. Because they really have become a real powerhouse. They're only unfriendly. So they might. No. They're not interested yet. Looks like we might have to take this fight here, but it's going to be a brutish fight here. Really look at that. That is a stupendously powerful force. It really is a very, very powerful force indeed. So is that. Goodness me, they've come prepared for war here, the Persians. Wow. So we have to get these armies up and running pretty quickly here. But thankfully now we've freed up this area at least. Now Moria.
Make ready.
That really could prove instrumental here. We do need a commander in here.
Yes, sir.
We have one here as well. We might move some of these troops across into this army here. If we give Moria, I'm assuming this army will go across to here. We need to get that up and running as well. 3,360 here, which we will do. Get the research and also get the money coming in as well. And also here as well, which we can do here. That's excellent. We can get this mine up and running. We're clearing Ankara bit by bit. Also suggesting we move the troops from Egypt as well out and sort of muster an army group together to take the fight to the Persians, retake Baghdad, take the fight to them. But they really are ready for war, my goodness me. Okay, what we must do then is, next thing is to give Moria to Greece. I think that's what we're going to do now. Just to help them along here, because they are at war with the Ottomans. And Greece are hostile with us. But with these armies that just sat here doing nothing, I know there's a trade route here, but there's nothing that's going to look good to us at all. What else do we have here? Nothing else. I know we'll miss the growth of the income here, which is 5,000, but still, we've just got to do this because I wonder if we can get an alliance with them. They're destitute though. This might help them as well. Perhaps they can stand. See, they're enemies of the Ottoman Empire, but they're trade partners, aren't they, with Russia as well. So we get an alliance out of it as well. And we'll also give them Moria. Hang on, what? There it is. Let's see if they're for that. Because the alliance, at least we have then an alliance against the Ottomans. They might help us with the Ottomans there. Indeed, sir. And then, yes, that's going to be invaluable. Absolutely invaluable to us.
Sir.
We've now got an additional 1.5, so one, almost 2 armies in Ankara here. Now we can start to reinforce here quite considerably. That's much, much more like it. Much more like it.
Make ready.
And we also have an alliance with Greece. Now hopefully they can repair, replenish and get their things together here. So this might help them out. I know they're destitute, but it might help them. They are actually fighting the Ottomans. Now we've got an alliance here with the Greeks. We've got the Spanish here. We do need to keep reinforcing here. Now there has been a call from the council as well to postpone the attack against Germany. As you can see, they've sort of husbanded their strength here in Klausenburg in Transylvania here. There's a huge amount of German forces here, which they can still move through the Carpathian Mountains, which we have to be careful of here. They can still move through French land here. Now France is at war with Russia, which is beneficial to us, but they haven't moved against this army here, and they haven't moved against this army here either. They're two powerful armies. They're trying to strike at the flank here of Poland here, of Warsaw. We've got to be careful what we're doing here. We've also been requests for General Ernuk to have his task force brought in to aid in Riga. We've got a lot here of armies. We're trying to bring together the armies that have been requested. So we might have to pull some armies off the front lines from other fronts. Oh no, look at that there. That was our raiding force. That's a very powerful force there, my goodness me.
At the ready.
And here as well by General Cromer. So General Cromer has this front here under his command. General Ernuk has the north under his command as well, but we need to sort of really reinforce the northern front here. We are going to have another battle here as well. We might take the fight to the Russians here, start pushing back in Finland. But St. Petersburg has also been a potential point where we need to look at as well. We also have General Old Man of War as well, who was our director of intelligence, asking to see what's in Vilnius here, what's in front of him. General Cromer asking to see what's in front here, so we need to find our spies here and bring them into, there they are, Lithuania here. See what's about still. Now that seems to have shrunk down the defence here. Unless we're missing something here, there doesn't seem to be that many forces there. That is highly unusual. Now where are our... Right, so we have in here, but we're going to send this gentleman
I don't think that's possible.
out of here. We're keeping an eye on what's going on here, we were, but we can keep him in this forest here. That's fine. We've cleared there. We've also tried to bring up a massive army as well towards moving against the Mughals as well. We're going to send them down into here. Let's find out what's going on down in here as well. Just keep an eye on things. The Don is controlled by France. Okay, we need to send these gentlemen out. We need to find out what's going on in and around here, especially in Minsk here as well, where the Germans are. And here also. We've just got to keep a real close eye on what's going on here. We'll see how the movement of the... Well, we could actually find out what's going on around in Kiev. That's a very, very important city there for them. France here, just keep an eye on what's going on in Spain. But actually, probably don't need 2 rakes here. We might send this rake in and around and see what's going on. I think the Eastern Front really is going to actually. We could probably find out what's going on down in here, down in the Balkans. I think that's going to be important as well for us. Got one in Florida, but to be honest with you, this gentleman needs to be out of Florida. I think we'll send a ship to pick him up.
Another mission.
One in Syria. He was moving across to find out what's going on in Baghdad. Keep an eye on Baghdad here. My goodness me. Got the gentleman in Transylvania who's keeping an eye on things. Rhineland. Again, we don't. Actually, we do need him in there. Another one in France, moving out of France. Yeah, we've got a lot of spies in and around here. We don't need that many here.
Keeping a low profile.
And one in Mysore. We need to find out what the composition is here of these forces, because intelligence is absolutely vital. We have a huge intelligence apparatus at our disposal. Now, let's just make sure we've got everything, all the boxes ticked here. We need to that needs to be replenished and repaired quickly as well. A lot of these have been hit pretty hard by the war.
Yes, sir.
Sack George. Oh, look at that. General Ponti. Now, and General Ponti here. I mean, look at that force of General Ponti. That is an absolute wonder. That is a monstrous force. 4 Grenadier Guard regiments here. 2 Republican Guards. Line Infantry, 3 Line Infantry Elite Guards here. Cuirassiers. That's a very powerful force indeed.
At the ready. Make ready. Ready and awaiting orders. At the ready.
Again, we've also had a call for some long riflemen to be moved into some.
Ready and awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Make ready. At the ready.
General Bowen, General Hooper. We're Caton here. I think we're going to have to move in some additional forces here to aid and help. General Ernok. And we've got here, there's Continental Marines here.
Sir.
Anti-Breeze.
Sir.
Sam North. I think what we will do is we'll actually move
Ready for order.
General Ernok into the Marine Corps. I think we'll have the Marine Corps as General Ernok's primary sort of command. I think that would be apt here to have that. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll have a Marine Corps, which is without a doubt the single most powerful force we have in our entire military, will be at the forefront of General Ernok's push into sort of this flank here of the Russian forces. Excuse me one second, my friends. We need to start to reconfigure here. We might move against this Russian force here. So we've got here, I think we might use the force here, General Lincoln here against Lincoln. Of course, one of our staunch council members here. So, my friends, so we might use the army here
Humble servant.
of General Lincoln here. Really is a very powerful force here indeed. We've got to keep these forces intact here. We need to find out what's here. These buildings, we don't know what's here yet. So I think it might be best we find out what's there first. We might even push in against this army here. Try and isolate it from the rest, but I'm not sure if they might support each other here, but that might do us good here. Take a fight here. Let's see what this army's going to do here. But I think what we will do is we'll move in. We need to push against the Russians pretty aggressively here. We've effectively cut off the strait here. So they've got no income here at all coming in from St. Petersburg. That port here is completely isolated from Greece and indeed from Spain. I then we'll take the fight. Let's take the fight to the Russians here. We're sending General Lincoln in here. Look at that. Now they outnumber us because look, they've got these streltsy here, which really do outnumber us here. But they've got lots of dragoons. And also another thing, the council said replace the garrison armies from the Middle East with dragoons to keep everything under control. Dragoons are, of course, hand-picked for control of cities, etc. They're excellent at doing that, so we're going to do that. Look at our... This army here is wonderful, sir. We've even got this unit contact marines here, which we're going to take the fight. Let's take the fight straight to them here. Let's say an even contest here, but I'm not too sure. But we've got to push against the Russians. We must show the Russians we are not afraid to take the fight with them. That fight is going to be taken immediately, my friends. Immediately. It's going to take a while for us to get our forces together to where we want them to be to strike the Russians. But Vilnius has to be taken. That is really the goal of the Eastern Frontier. Right, let's take. Oh, look at this battlefield here. The topography here is an absolute wonder. We've got lots of trees here, lots of forest here, as you'd imagine in this part of the sort of the Russian Eastern Frontier. Lots of trees. They've got this town here, but it doesn't protrude into the battlefield, though it doesn't know. Not at all, which is good. This village here, they've got this here, this undulation here, but again, we're going to take the fight to them. So we're going to be up front and centre here. We are going to be very aggressive again. That's how we're going to combat luckily we do have the cuirassiers here, 4 regiments of cuirassiers, which is going to be absolutely wonderful. Let's put 2 regiments on the left flank, ready. Here. And these will take the fight to the Russians. Again, we're going to be aggressive. And then these 2 gentlemen here. We've just got... There they are there. Set, fair, ready to go. Excellent. And again, here and here. Let's set them ready to go here. Look at that. Perfect, sir. Now we are going to send out some forces to fight, take the Russians on. General Lincoln here, one of our finest council members. And we'll just set these gentlemen here as well, I think. To really take the fight here to the Russians. And we have then the 24 pounders here. We might actually put these in the actual attack in the line here, which would be excellent for us. I think we'll do that. There's the Marines there. There's the Marines there. So we might send the Marines out to attack. Actually, let's set this regiment here. And then what we'll do, we'll build these lines around. Look at the Fusiliers there, sir. Let's pull them back as well. This regiment here. Excuse any noise here, my friends. You can probably imagine who that is. And now let's set. We've got some really good, excellent veterans here in this army here. Excuse me, noise in the background, my friends. You can imagine who that might be, looking for attention, of course. Sorry about that, my friends. I can imagine somebody needed my attention. So we've got that. We might just put another foot here, just in this sort of small outcrop here. Perfect. Absolutely perfect there. We will, of course, set these gentlemen here. Give them the protection they need, and we do want to move out against the Russians in some force. We do have some We're sending 5 regiments out against them here. We are going to be probably pushed quite hard here by the... We are going to be pushed quite hard here by the Russians, without a shadow of a doubt. I know the Fusiliers, actually we want to keep the Fusiliers. We are going to use the Continental Marines to take the fight. They will take the fight here with us. We might set these gentlemen here, this regiment here on the right, to give us that protection we need. Quick line here. This flank is pretty much secured. We've got these gentlemen who are going to be moving out to hit them on the right flank here. We might keep some regiments in reserve, but I did like to try and... I think we'll set the Fusiliers here so we could set the stakes here, deploy stakes in front of the sort of this main line here. And we're going to push out with these gentlemen here, all these regiments here. 5 regiments here, we're going to push out. Let's set them here. But with the Marines in the vanguard here, that's going to be an important punch here, sir. Now, I think we're ready to for this fight. Let's take the fight to the Russians. Let's do this, my friends. Oh, no. Here they come. Let's take the fight to them straight away, lads. If they want to fight, then we'll oblige. Oh, let's get this moving here. The stake there is set up beautifully, sir. Of course they're losing slightly, sir. We've got to push hard here, really hard here. Oh, that's a beautiful sight. I'm not going to shirk my responsibility, sir. Not a chance. Oh, look at this. We're taking an absolutely beautiful fight to them here, sir. Give us time to set this up here, then we're going to pull out. Come on, lads, get into position. Oh, that's more like it. They've gone, sir. Yeah, she's broken that flank there, sir. What a wonder. Let's break them, lads. Let's show the Russians what they're in for. Now we got them, sir. Double time. Come on, gentlemen. Got to come to the aid here. Punching to the rear. Didn't stand a chance. Look at that. It's been an absolute bloodbath. Push hard, gentlemen. Crassiers have had enough. Oh, they've gone. Crassiers have had enough. got them, sir. Look at that, they fought each other to a standstill here. Let's get them, lads. Let's finish the job. We're dismantling the Russians bit by bit. I know they're going to be broken there. We'll give that Strelsier an absolute fiend in the combat there. Come on, gentlemen, prepare. Quicker reload, quicker reload. That's more like it. Oh, look at that, right to the last. They stood right, they didn't blink. They did not even blink in that charge, sir. Look at that defensive force. Well done. Get more forward. Never stood a chance. The general's dead, sir. Grigori Kalipov. Gone, sir. Gone. That's what happens to the Russians when they attack us, sir. They dare to attack us. Yes. We've taken the fight to them. Finland will be ours, sir. Mark my words. We lost 893, lost 2,000. Statistics. Look at line infantry. Look at the content of the Marines. Are wonderful, sir. Karasi has done a wonderful job. You, sir, away with you. We'll send him back here.
Forward!
We can replenish
Round and country.
next episode. We shall end the turn, my friends. We do need to build and improve this here. Let's end the turn. Let's see what happens here.
Choosers.
Additional forces there. Britain, what will Britain do against remove also the council columns to deal with Sweden once and for all? Looks like Britain might be doing something about Sweden anyway. That is excellent. Should I know it? What's France going to do here? Will they move against the Russian forces? Indeed they will, sir. Looks like France really are starting to stretch their military might here. Ooh. They got absolutely thrashed there by the Russians. Germany. More German forces moving through there. Into Minsk. What will the Germans do? Looks like they're preparing for an attack there. Mughal Empire, Afghanistan, the Ottoman Empire, what will they do? We're moving down to attack them, yep. Wait a minute. Russia, what will Russia do? They're moving away from Vilnius here. Yes, they're abandoning Vilnius. Vilnius is being abandoned here.
Enemy ahoy!
They've abandoned Vilnius here, the Russians, for some reason. They completely abandoned Vilnius. Persia. They haven't moved against Armenia at all, but... Ah! There it is. I think we'll leave this till the next episode, my friends. I know we can deal with this quite easily, but it'll give us time just to reassess what's going on here. But I hope, my friends, that you've enjoyed this episode. As always, my friends, please keep your comments and your strategies and tactics coming down below, because it's been absolutely fantastic. Really have been an absolute joy. I know we're going to win this battle quite easily, but do we pull this force out of Armenia? I know that some of the council calling us to move out of Armenia, and not to lose this army, pull it back towards Ankara, deal with the Ottomans, and then strike against, maybe even give Armenia to the Persians for peace. That might prove beneficial towards us. We might even do that, but we've got a lot of reorganisation to do. Actually, what we might do is just auto-resolve this just to get that, that done there, so we can move on past that. So we might give Armenia to the Persians for peace. That might be open, but I'll get the council's opinion anyway there. And look at Sweden, they're really starting to expand now. We've got to do something. The council called us to do something about Sweden as well, which we'll have to do. And hopefully Courland isn't going to start putting its nose in where it doesn't belong here. And then Norway. But that was a fine episode, my friends. We didn't do much, but we did push back what was needed to be done. It's okay, we can deal with that. Finland, of course, is going to be riots in Finland. Of course, there's going to be riots in Finland. They're still not happy there at all. However, we're going to end this particular episode here, my friends. We've got, look at that. That's been destroyed there. It's because we've still got Russian forces in Finland, and they've effectively abandoned Vilnius here. This is very, very strange indeed. I don't know what they're doing here. But my friends, we're going to end this episode here. We're going to have a because there's no battle next episode. We can now start to reorganize properly. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start reorganize properly. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode, my friends. If you have, as always, please keep your comments coming down below. They've been absolutely fantastic. All of your comments have been an absolute wonder. They really have helped enormously to where we are. Most of these are going to be pulled out from here as well and moved to the front lines. We don't need these hanging around here in Vienna and Hungary. They need to be pulled down or moved to the Eastern Front. The same goes for those in Ankara as well. We're going to probably move against Istanbul. We're going to clear these gentlemen out. We might even give Armenia to the Persians for peace. That might actually prove beneficial towards us. We'll pull out, then we can deal with the rest of these Ottoman forces, and we then might muster these forces here and attack Istanbul and finally rid ourselves of the the Ottoman menace, but also gain a real foothold, a really strong capital here in sort of straddles the Middle East and the West. We can then attack the Germans from behind here in the Balkans. We've got a very powerful force here as well. But my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, please keep your comments coming down below. And thank you all for your wonderful help and support. It's been absolutely fantastic. But until next time, my friends, bye for now.